Welcome to the Augmentation of Man. I am Renee Miller.
Kent.
Today we're going to be talking about the chaos and how that leads to humanity's shift, which is it sounds like a stretch, but there
It is.
we're gonna connect the dots and
Or try.
yeah, we're going to try to connect the dots. So hang in there with us. Um, because God the Creator created everything, there is no difference between science, what's going on in our world, and our spiritual growth. So our job is to bridge the gap between all of that. So, in essence, we are bringing the future of spiritual understanding. So,
Okay. I've seen a lot lately of chaos. And the spiritual guides have told me long ago, that it was going to contribute to the human shift. So what does all this craziness in the world mean? I don't know. The upheaval, and some people are creating wars
and some people
and
are creating a lot of chaos in our
chaos,
society.
everything falling apart has to do with our shift. So, what does this shift mean? Well, let's look into it.
So, if you want to know how spirituality, science, and what's going in our world are connected, give us a like, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and you will continue to receive these insights on how all of this is related because it is. Everything is related.
So, and one of the meditations, one of many that I've received, one of them was in March 2015, where I received a message while meditating from the spiritual mentors, which is our mentors while talk to me during meditation. There are different mentors. They're not just one person or one entity. So they're called the ancients or ancient teachers and mentors of the Creator. The message that was given to me told me that concentrated energy was to be released and coming soon. Concentrated energy. We were trying to figure out what this concentrated energy was. It's created by external forces causing a displacement in the electromagnetic field. So the displaced electromagnetic field was going to have an impact on some of the people of Earth. So,
And they actually call them contractual beings.
yeah, contractor beings
So
causing
they
them to
were
act,
under contract,
you
or
know, well, causing them to
I don't.
act upon their already held ideologies. And we've talked about the
Mhm.
ideologies throughout the world, which is causing this world chaos, causing a pronounced behavior that would cause disruption and disorientation within our society.
So let's back up a minute. We're going to kind of give a brief explanation of what causes the electromagnetic field around Earth to be displaced. Usually it has to do with the sun's activity. Now, it could be
Yeah,
something else coming in from the cosmos that's going to create this blowing around effect of our electromagnetic field.
yeah, I was told in meditation is going to come far beyond our sun.
Yeah, there's other events. We don't know if this is the same event or if this is going to be from the sun, but the sun is very dynamic. It's constantly changing. And what it's doing is it is using the hydrogen that's prevalent in the cosmos as fuel to create nuclear fusion. And what that means is that the hydrogen atoms, say there's two little hydrogen atoms, they are heated to extreme temperatures and put under an extreme gravitational field and fused into one atom. But that one atom has a heavier nucleus and it releases a huge amount of energy and heat, and it releases plasma, which is charged particles.
Yeah.
They're atoms that have either a positive charge or a negative charge that create this plasma.
Yeah, Renee's trying to explain a smaller sample of what the creation as an order for us, so you can understand how this plasma works. So it also is verifying effects upon humanity. So our guides are saying that it causes an exuberation of negative behavior in a few contractual beings. Now, what do you mean by contractual beings? Are they under contract from the cosmos? Or what? We haven't defined what a contractual being is, and is it human? So they're acting on their own ideologies,
And
which
that could
they've
be
created. That could
religious,
be religious, could
or
be
it could
almost
be related to the earth and green technology. It could be related to warring. It could be related to a lot of things.
but they're all ideologies.
And the key part of an ideology is a strongly held belief system that
You're right.
act upon and you're trying to force it on other
Yeah,
people.
so this will all start the chaos which
Mhm.
is taking place in our society, calling it a pervasive provocation.
So essentially what they're saying is like, say it's the sun that is creating this displacement of the electromagnetic field. So if you have a coronal mass ejection, the sun is going to be like have a small explosion of these charged particles, this plasma, out into a stream, out into the cosmos. If the Earth happens to be crossing that path of charged particles at the same time and crosses through that stream, it's going to blow our electromagnetic field around, or that of the Earth, sorry. And so that in turn, that displaced electromagnetic field interacts with the Earth's core, and that can cause an increase in movement of magma um, under the Earth's surface, but it also increases volcanic activity and it can increase earthquake activity. And
Yeah.
what they're saying is that some people on Earth who have these ideologies can be affected by this displaced electromagnetic field. And you have to understand our heart has an electromagnetic field and our physical body has an electromagnetic field. So it's kind of easy to draw that parallel that if the Earth's electromagnetic field is being displaced,
Displace some of our field.
how is that going to affect us? And it can be varying in different ways, like health and the heart. And for some people, they're telling us that it accentuates their ideologies and it brings them to a point where they're acting on their ideologies.
So
their behavior is being provoked.
yeah, so when you get increased magnetic flow, increased volcanic activity, increased earthquakes, we're at where we are right now.
Right.
Creating a lot of chaos within society along with the ideologies.
And the earth is going through all this
Yeah.
increased volcanic activity, increased earthquake activity. So there's a lot going on here. And then we have all the wars and we have changing weather patterns and changing rain patterns. So it's a lot, it's putting a lot of stress on humanity. And
So
so,
everything is falling apart. So a pervasive, provoking behavior will have an effect on our society. And it's extinguishing the creative force on Earth itself.
so the creative force comes from creator. It's like a trickle down effect. The creator is releasing the information to
Yeah,
source
it's
entities,
trying to be passed down from the
and
creator.
it's passed down through source entities, this
So,
information that we grow and we learn from.
so everything starts to falling apart,
So that's being extinguished.
creating a painful view of what is taking place here on Earth.
Yeah, so when you extinguish the creative force, then society really starts to fall apart. And we need these old systems to fall apart.
Yeah, so what does this do? This is creating or serving a purpose that is to start breaking down all of our false perceptions,
Mhm.
perceptions of the past. It brings us to a point where we don't believe anything anymore. We don't know the truth and the non-truth.
Mhm.
We're put in that field of uncertainty.
And I think we're already getting there. You
Yeah.
know, we see AI. One thing that has really come to my attention lately is when you watch these videos, so many are going to AI, and it's getting so good that you really have to study the video very closely to realize that's not a real person that is giving that information. This is created by AI. And then you start to wonder, well, who is behind it and who
What
can be
purpose
held
they have.
accountable for that information if it's true or not true. So then, you start to question, well, are all these videos that are done in AI, how accurate are they? Are they really more accurate or are they less
So
accurate?
as you begin to question these different things, this helps us release our old perceptions and to open new truths or new perceptions. So the new truth will come from outside entities when it does happen.
Yeah, so we've mentioned this before, but if you're new to our channel, why do we need these old social systems to fall apart? Because we're moving into a new cycle of a higher state of being and a higher learning. And so everything that exists in our world today was born out of the old cycle. And we are
It's
going to be
putting
creating something better.
it's putting a squeeze on humanity
Right.
itself
So the
to
crumbling
bring
of
us,
all these
yeah, to
systems
try to
is,
bring
yeah.
us to the universal truth, which is the true truth, to eventually unite us and bring us to a point where we are supposed to respect life itself, and to redirect our path to bring us to a place of self clarification.
So what is self-clarification?
So you want to explain what self clarification is?
It is a point of understanding who we are at our very core. We are at a soul level, who our higher self is, what our higher self is, what our purpose is here on earth.
Why
What
are
is
we
the
here?
purpose of life? Why are we here? Right. So all of this
What are we
chaos
doing here?
has
Yeah,
purpose.
people are starting to talk more and more about the soul that I've noticed in the past. So what are we doing here? What is all this dot forming and collecting, putting all the dots together? What is this going to come out?
So we are told by our spiritual guides that this is an experiential learning field. So we are learning by experiences that we are witness to in a third dimensional space with a fourth dimension of
Yeah,
time.
some of those learning experiences can be very harsh.
They are. And a lot of
Mm.
people will question God because it's like, what's the purpose of life if there's suffering and there's sickness and there's death? But all of it has learning behind it. And that learning is added to the consciousness of the soul and the growth of the soul.
Well,
So that is why we're
yeah, so
here.
humanity's shift, or the shift of humanity, is when we completely are consumed with ourself,
There's so
which
much
is so
going on
much
in our
going on.
world, and we're
Yeah.
just
So
totally
yeah,
consumed with our survival. And
all that will
yeah,
happen. So the planetary alignments help to make this happen by creating opportunities for certain events to happen. And you say, why did that event happen? Well, it's created to happen to create your learning process if you will learn from it.
yeah. So the way it was explained to us is that each planet has its own vibration, and as they're rotating around and they come into certain alignments, they're interacting with each other, and it creates a vibrational field that is that Earth is under the influence of. And that allows for certain opportunities. Now, it doesn't make things happen. It creates the opportunistic effect where
It can
we're
happen.
working with
Yeah.
that field. We're working more like it is affecting us internally to either take advantage of that energy field or be provoked by it, I guess,
Yeah.
is what you would say.
Yeah.
And then we have the choice of either not being provoked and using it to our advantage.
So this helps increase the growth of our understanding.
Right.
Slowly, very slowly, but it does help increase the growth of our understanding and our conscious evolution.
Yes. And that's what it's all about. So all of creation was set up this way, and there's all different sectors within our universe, within other universes for different levels of learning, depending on where we are at in our spiritual growth.
Yeah, the problem is right now with pushing humanity in a new direction, we don't believe anything. And we don't believe anything we hear or see
That's where
anymore.
that's where we're arriving right
Right,
now.
and that's
Yeah.
opening a new wave of understanding, hopefully, uh, is what we believe, letting go of our old ideologies, our old perceptions, all that, to begin understanding these new truths, if we can discern the
Mhm.
difference between truth and non-truth.
So if you're an entity like, say, outside Earth, spiritual or physical, non-physical, physical, and you're working with other entities in the landscape of how do we push humanity forward? How do we get them back on the right track? How do we get them aligned to the truth? How do we get them to unify? These, they're working with nature and the natural cycles within the earth, within the planets, within the galaxy and the universe. It's all connected.
Mm.
And they're trying to wipe the slate clean so that they can completely correct humanity's path and set us on the right course.
Yeah, that's when we're open. Then that's when we're open to change.
Yes, and usually we have to get to that bottom of the barrel before we're willing to change, right? So if you're looking at, like, say, somebody who has an addiction problem, like alcohol or drugs, sometimes they're not willing to change as long as everything is going in, the direction they want it to go. But when their life starts to fall apart and everything crumbles, and they get to that point of they're at their lowest point and they're destitute and everything is falling apart, that's the point where there's salvation, right? So that's the point where they decide to make the change.
Well,
And this is kind of where they're bringing humanity.
that's a small sample of what it may be, but it's going to take outside entities to help replate or overlay a new understanding
Mhm.
of, of our humanity that's more in line with the universal truth. So they're trying to assist humanity towards a new higher path. As they intersect with the human race in coming months or years, they're going to try to move us in the direction of the universal truth.
Right. So this is the truth as the universe sees them. We have so many competing interests here on Earth, and everybody's trying to push their own agenda. And it's really hard to make out the truth on one hand. And on the other hand, you have so many people that have bought into the agendas. And so we're being told that the truth doesn't exist here. So what they're wanting to do is wipe the slate clean for us, get us to a point where we don't believe anything anymore. We're destitute. We're we're at the bottom of the barrel, and we start asking the creator for help.
Start asking the correct questions, not just any question, but the correct question.
Yeah, but yeah, we have to be open. Our minds have to be open to accept a new reality. And this is part of why they need to wipe the slate clean to get us to that point where we no longer believe anything so that they can start to teach us what the reality is. And when that happens, then you start to see a natural migration toward unity where we're not fighting against each other anymore because our truths are all different, but rather we hold on to a single unified truth. And part of that truth is there is a creator, there is one creator who is the mastermind of everything. And
Mathematically.
yeah, mathematically, scientifically, everything. And that we are a small, very small extension of the creator that is held within us. So when we start to turn within and ask the creator for help, we have this reconnection with our higher self and our soul. And from there, that is what causes our shift. And our reality starts to shift because we start to see things in a whole different way. So
So,
we hope that this is kind of brought together what is going on in our world scientifically, spiritually, why things are falling apart, why things look the way they are, the way they do. It all is connected and it all makes sense when you stop to really think about it.
so we know the Earth has been out of balance for some time, and now it is trying to rebalance itself, trying to recreate what humanity has done to it. So humanity cannot rebalance itself completely until the Earth settles into the path that it's
Its new
set out, its
pattern.
new pattern, and the pattern will be balance of the Earth. Then mankind or humanity can rebalance itself. So everything shows everything is connected.
Everything is connected.
Yeah, there's nothing that's individual.
Mhm.
I first thought there was individual things, but now I have learned that everything, I mean, absolutely everything is connected.
And because we're living in this earth field and we are a part of that field, then we we can't balance within that field if the field is imbalanced. So we can work toward that by increasing our understanding and trying to balance by getting out and touching earth and getting your feet on the ground and allowing those vibrations, earth's changing vibrations, to come up through your feet and into your body to help you balance. But our true full balance cannot be achieved until the earth is in balance.
A little thing that I might suggest is don't put your feet on the earth where there's red ants.
Fire ants.
Fire ants.
Oh man.
Okay, with that, I hope you have a good weekend and you'll understand this video and try to pass it on to others.
Yes, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell, because you will continue to receive these when we get them out, because we're not so regular about putting the videos out. But we feel like this is very important information to help you understand what's going on in our world and kind of prepare for it.
Yeah, and most of this comes from the book that we put out.
This is coming out of the 12th chapter of the Augmentation of Man, a study in Renaissance. And this is the second book, The Augmentation of Man, The Acquiescence of Humanity. They are both on Amazon, and you can check those out. We have a new website, and that website is theaugmentationofman.de. Don't know what the DE stands for. It's the first time I've seen it, but that's what we were assigned when we signed up for our domain name.
.de. Okay, all right.
And maybe we can change that to .com in the future.
But not right now.
Yeah, so check that out, and gives more information about us, and the books if you want to check those out for yourself.
And we have been given the beyond those two books. So I think the next time we do a video, it will be on truth. I was been given a very, Renee called it eloquent definition of what truth really is.
It was really a beautiful reading that you got, and it was recently. It really was poetic in a sense.
Okay.
So we'll have to do that one
Yeah,
too.
I'm not considered a poet. So.
Peace be with you on your journey to enlightenment. Take care and have a great week.